Hello, gorgeous Sagittarius. Thanks for joining. Excuse me. Thanks for joining me here today for your new moon in Aries reading leading up to this new moon on the 11th. So lovely Sagis, we're going to do a shortened Celtic cross. And if you've not watched these videos before, we do pull out some clarifying cards as we go through. And a journey map card at the end, one of my own, and Brian Fradd's Fairy Oracle, a card from there. So let's get stuck in and see what's happening. The central point we look at first and the basis. Then we keep going. What's just past, where you're at, moving forward. And off we go. What's happening for beautiful archers at this current time leading up to this really what feels like time's starting to speed up. I think lots of things have been happening in the last week. It feels kind of new and fresh. It's good. Just one more card for the central point. For lovely Sagis. Wow. Sorry about that. Excusez-moi. Okay, so we're looking at, wow, yeah, moving kind of quick. We get the Six of Swords and the Six of Swords here in the Thoth deck. We see, yes, moving to calmer port. That is the traditional term, moving to calmer waters, possibly in a literal sense. Journeying across water. We have, wherever we're going here, Sag, we're moving pretty quickly, and we've come to understand actually from prior work. I mean, I say prior work. I say this because, you know, a lot of people have found themselves in space right now because of the last, what's been going on collectively or individually over the last 12 months. We've picked up new skills, we've learnt quite a few new things, or if not new things, we've understood certain aspects of ourselves. Is what I get here with the Chariot. We've got this really good balance happening, which is allowing us this movement. In fact, the basis of which is the Emperor. Of course, the Emperor is the Empress's cohort, consort, husband, wife. Gender's not important here or relevant, but the qualities of these quintessential masculine qualities, benevolent father figure, the basis of this. So let's just keep going and see what the cards reveal, dear Sagis. Excuse the kitchen landscape. Just got all my other work and complete mess on the other side there, so I've had to do this. What has passed is what we're looking at. So we get the Tower coming up. Well, what's passed is breaking down. So one would assume, we'll talk about this a little bit more as we clarify, but it would suggest that new foundations are in the process of being created as we speak. Dear Saggy, with that Tower there. Lots of change, lots of potential new beginnings. Moving forward for Sagittarius today. Moving forward, we get the Moon card. You know, we all know the Moon, you know, is about the unseen. It's about cyclical nature of things being revealed and some things being hidden. It's a card of, I guess, the unconscious mind. And maybe we're picking up some new tidbits of information here in regards to ourselves, in regards to our own motivations. But there's certainly movement happening. And I guess you could say that at any time, but there is movement happening here. After, you know, the tower is, I love the tower, which is in that recent past, or what's behind you, because it's just such a great, not only a breaking down of old things in order to create new foundations for the future, for the present and the future, but it is about installing new information or new intelligence here, new connectors here. We see the eye of Horus, the clarity here, blasting, driving out the old, welcoming in the new, as it were. And so after something like that, of course, there are still some things that we don't necessarily see to understand yet. Moving forward for lovely Sagis, please. And that Chariot's moving really smoothly and well aspected with the Emperor underneath as the basis, it seems. Moving forward for lovely Sagittarians today, please. Moving forward, we get in the Thoth deck, we see this collection of 7 cups. We get the 7 of cups, a card of having many options, of having many ideas about projects, where we're going, who we want to do it with, what direction we want to go. Is this going to float? Is this idea going to float? Is it going to be, am I going to be able to realize some of my desires, some of my dreams? It's a card of assessing all of these things moving forward. So yeah, clearly there's a lot that's been, oops, I won't turn my phone off. There's a lot that's been assessed as we move forward. I think when we, because I do feel, oh, I'm sorry about that, Sag. I think when we do have the moon in the current position, you know, and we're moving forward with the 7, we do get some between the moon here and the 7 of cups. We get some new information that allows us to make a really clear assessment of what could be a confusing period. So let's just see. A bit of clarity here. Let's have a look. What do we want to look at for lovely Sagis? I think let's look at the moon here. Actually, the basis of this movement, this quite smooth movement forward with the Emperor as the basis. Can we just have a wee look at the Emperor, please? Oops, we've got, excuse me, Sagittarius. Wow. This has been, it would suggest, sorry, I'm having problems with this microphone. When we look at the Emperor, here, we get 2 10s coming out. To me, there is movement in here. There's movement into a new zone, that's for sure. We have the 10 of Wands, a burden that can no longer be carried. And the 10 of Cups, which is just bountiful. It's the ultimate in cupdom. You know, this ultimate emotional bounty. It's just amazing. We see the need to release ourselves from this burden in order to fully be able to embrace that. There seems to be a time factor here too. I mean that in the sense that one feels like it's moving ahead, one feels like it's entering a new cycle, and one feels like it's fully burying, is what I hear, the old, if that makes sense to you, lovely Sagis. So there is a movement. I mean, there is movement. There are still things that are unseen, but you've known how to separate the chaff from the oats, if you know what I mean. Let's have a look at the moon, please, for lovely. Let's look at the moon for lovely Sagittarius, please. What is the moon revealing? Because it is revealing something to us at some point between now and probably the full moon, I would think. It feels quite private. It feels quite private. Now this card's come out twice. We get the 6 of discs. This is an equal exchange. This is flowing out and flowing in. Traditionally the generous figure with his or her deep pocket. You know, there could be a matter of, setting up new businesses, like this is part of this whole new thing that you're entering. Setting up new business, clearing out the old in order to move to, it could be just, it does feel like tying up loose ends, and that there is a sort of financial gain here. Just through sheer generosity, actually, a financial gain. Let's have a look at the 7 of Cups, please. 7 of Cups. This sort of ascertaining what we've got, lots and lots of ideas. Buzz off, fly. Naughty fly. 7 of Cups, please. What are we speaking of? We've got lots of ideas. I do feel that this is like a project. It's something that you want to invest in. Moving forward, like we're cutting off we're cutting off we are separating the chaff from the oats. We're cutting off, getting rid of this burden is what we're doing. This assessing of our options here, because we are what floats, what could float and what might not with that. And as I said before, new information coming through, possibly at the next full moon, new information that makes this a little bit easier. You know what you want to do though, but you're just not sure which, what and how. But that new information coming through is, as we get on the other side, what's behind you, the Tower, what we're moving. And they came out in that way, moving to collaborations with others is what we're moving to. But in just what way you do that is possibly unsure, or you are unsure about it. This is building new foundations. This is the time, I do think, or what the cards would suggest, is that, for one thing, the Hierophant to me is about, it's about hidden or esoteric information that is for you and for you alone. Of course, it impacts those around you, but it is for you and for you only. This is new information that is going to actually allow you to clearly see this collaboration that will be occurring. If it's not a collaboration of work of sorts, it is about building a new foundation for yourself, whether that's about work or home or just the way that you want to move forward with something new. This is a new cycle for you. So it's rebuilding again, but rebuilding, I do get with this new moon in Aries, there's this real strong feeling about it, like start off as you mean to go on, because it's as if we've had time to look back, however far that is, and say, well, I really want to do things in a new way, for myself. I don't want to fall down into the same pitfalls, whether that be pitfalls, habits, whatever, attitudes, values. This is what I'm getting from it. It feels like quite a serious sort of reading, Sagis. It feels like a sort of serious read. Let's just get a card from the journey map. Let's get a card. Oh, look, we get this. There is, Six of Swords. There is movement. It's really good, and it does tell us that this movement, however we get there, whatever happens along the way, we're going to get to a calmer, more conducive port. Just a journey map card as an overall. We get Lady of the Lake, which is quite a kooky looking character there with her opera glass, I guess it is. It's about, it goes pretty well with the Seven of Cups, in fact, because it's about ascertaining what our fantasies are. Not getting lost in illusions, pretty much in a nutshell. Not getting lost in our own fantasies and illusions. All right, so I've got these dreams, but how do I get them into reality? And will they work? Well, I guess one has to put something into action to see whether they work or not. Which is, there's always a risk in that. But this is not to say that don't follow those seeds of fantasy, of imagination. But but the cautionary element to Lady of the Lake is just don't get lost in your own watery depths to the point where everything's a reflection, so you can't see to find your way in and out into this new zone where you're building new foundations. It's interesting, Sagis. So let's just get a little Pixie and Fairy card. Pixie and Fairy card for you today. Just a general Pixie and Fairy. Oh, look here. Keep on it. Keep going. You've got, I didn't realise there were two cards. You've got the Friends card to begin with. So you've got all the support that you could ever need at any given time. At any time, you are supported. Remember that, dear Sagis. And at the same time, if it couldn't be any better than that, because these two are real good buddies, Will it float with a little bit of help from my friends? That's what I'm getting. With that, we get the collective of pixies, which is, yay, it's a celebration. Woohoo! It's a wonderful card. It's a collective of pixies gathering around, helping out, because it is a card of helping, of other people surrounding you and helping you and supporting you, as well as celebrating you. So this is all pretty interesting when we have this. This is all moving forward here, dear Sagis. Now, we'll just get a little star card. It's like there are some big projects underway. There are some things that you're not necessarily, you haven't necessarily formulated yet, certain plans. Wow. Now this is so Sagittarian. Action. Be direct. A tactician is patient. Yeah, maybe it is just a matter of time, dear friends. Because with that, we get the other card that came out. The door of value you have opened. So whatever the process has gone on for you out there individually, dear Sagittarians, situation, scenario, whatever it's been, you can remain quietly confident, knowing that you have the support of others, and whatever outcome that you so desire, people will support you in that all the way. This is pretty nice. It's a pretty nice read. So good work formulating this. And yeah, it is a matter of being patient. But, you know, when you open that door of value, you know, all of that stuff, all of that glorious stuff is coming to you. Look, thanks for joining me, beautiful Sagittarians. And I hope you have a wonderful week leading up to this Arian new moon. Take good care now. Take good care. Toodaloo.